going to drive up there with her. I drove by myself.
Did you bring her over?
Mind you, Aiden was supposed to call me within a couple of days.
Met me once again, my name is Adrian. I want to take the time and just really thank everybody for coming out here on a Sunday afternoon in such kind of short notice to see my film. This has been a, how would I describe it, a 1-year challenge. It's been probably the biggest undertaking I've ever done in my life in such a short period of time. But before I get emotional, without the wonderful actors that gave me 4 weekends of their time, this wouldn't have happened, and this is for you. Please enjoy. Where do I sit? We can start.
Do any humans harm them there?
No. No. None whatsoever. Yes, Dusty.
How'd you come up with the idea?
I wrote the script originally in about 30 days, and I'd always wanted to do a movie that was sort of like Paranormal Activity. In fact, when I first saw that movie, I thought, oh my God, you know, I mean, pardon my French, but what a simple piece of shit. And they made the original film for under 10 grand, and the thing grossed $138 million. Of course, it's a little longer than my film. And when I looked at that, I thought, you know what, I can do stuff that can blow that film away. I can make better special effects and stuff like that. And I knew a lot of, well, enough wonderful people in LA, and some that were introduced to me over time, that I knew would really be supportive of the script. And that's kind of what inspired me, was that film. So I know Warren Pelly's not here to really take any credit for anything. He's the original creator of Paranormal Activity, but Warren, if you can hear me, thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
So
Tiffany.
a lot of the scenes where the cast is all running through the halls and stuff, and there's a lot of the red and the you know. So some of that was done, or all of that was special effects afterwards. Or
That was that was
like
me. Special effects afterwards. I mean, you remember being there. I think majority of the shoot, the lighting was a $17 LED flashlight that I just purchased at Ralph's in Granada Hills, probably about an hour before we started shooting. I was with Roman, and I was like, Roman, oh my God, I need a flashlight. You got to get me to a store. So we bought the flashlight, and then for some of the really big lighting shoots, particularly at the end where the final surviving couple escapes the house, Dusty brought his professional lighting kit over, and we hit the house with a 1,000-watt bulb. And then in addition to that, when Roman got abducted right in front of the door, we hit him with a 1,000-watt bulb. In fact, Dusty was on the ladder. And then if you watch, yeah, you were on the ladder. I remember you were standing on top of the ladder. Well, Jared actually did the lighting on the group abduction. He stood on the roof. And if you actually see the raw footage of that shot without any effects or sound, it's actually really funny. It's Roman standing outside the door, and we were all hanging out inside his living room. And it's like, okay, Roman, stand like this. Okay, all right, Dusty, hit him with the light. Okay, thank you. Okay, Roman, you can go to the scene now, and you like tiptoe like this. It's actually pretty funny. The raw footage is hilarious of the film. But everything else in terms of like lighting for close-ups and stuff like that, I did that all in post. And I did a lot of research in terms of what people have seen, you know, in terms of like UFOs and, you know, unknown craft and stuff like that. And a lot of them describe kind of changes in the color. As everybody noticed, I use what's called color psychology in the film. The first part of the UFO appearances, it's all blue because it's more calming. And then in the second half of the film, when everything goes straight to hell, when basically the colonel who's actually controlling the spacecraft goes in for the kill to get everybody, everything goes like just blood red. And I thought that would have more of an effect on an audience. So that's kind of how I did the lighting scheme. So did that answer your question?
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes, Roman.
What was the hardest part of two-part question? What was the hardest part of making this film and the most rewarding part for you?
The most challenging part of making this film was the visual effects. It's tough to really see it because when you watch the movie on a big screen, you kind of take the visual effects for granted, but there were over 100 visual effects in this film, and that doesn't even include the color correction. Including the color correcting, I think it's close to 200. I think the exact number is 186. But there's some shots where you've got 20 visual effects, and that can take hours, sometimes days to do. And then you've got other visual effects where it's like a couple of seconds to render. So that was the most challenging part. But the other challenging part about that too is that I completed this in just over a year, but at the same time I also helped a friend develop a television show, design her entire storyboard, and on top of that I just helped another person at Paramount. Basically I designed all of her marketing for her film. So I've had like 3 jobs in the last year. So that was a challenge too, with time, and I got it done. Now to answer the second part of your question, the most rewarding is to see everyone's reaction here today. Seriously. And the other rewarding part is the fact that when I see this thing, I'm like, holy shit, this is like freaky. And it's still, I mean, watching it on an 18-foot screen is a lot more scary than watching it on my little 20-inch monitor inside my office. Any other questions?
So what are your hopes for this in the future? Do you hope that this is going to go on and do something, or do you think it will?
My hopes for the future is I'm definitely going to submit it to as many film festivals as humanly possible. It would be great for people who view this to see the actors. I mean, I think they all did a phenomenal job. And I mean, the big thing was their dynamic is what made this film so realistic. I mean, everybody was in a party mood, but I kind of remember at the end of every single shoot, Roman trying to get everybody drunk, so that kind of helped lighten the mood. But in addition to that too, I'd really like to be able to get bigger budgets so I can make more films that are sort of like this, but longer, more actors, much better visual effects to where I'm not having to do everything. I have to play writer, director, I starred in the film, executive producer, all the visual effects, sound design, camera, and I can't remember anything else I did on it, but it's a tough job. So if I can get more money, yeah, that too. Yeah, catering, editing, but it'd be nice to get a bigger budget from other studios or production companies, get a bigger crew, have more people to be able to delegate responsibilities to. That's, to me, really, really huge. That way I can pop stuff like this out much faster than I did. Any other questions? Yes?
In going forward to do another movie, what would you be interested in doing? Would it be more of a horror type of film, or what is your interest?
I've got a lot of different interests. That's actually a very good question. I actually, before I wrote Vanished, I wrote another really, really big story that takes place off the coast of Newport Beach. I know Dusty knows about it. He read the script. And the story is actually called Colossal. And it's sort of a similar story to this, where you've got 6 kids, probably mid-20s, that get together on a boat during a college graduation, and then they come across something and everything goes straight to hell. And it's an extremely intense story, and probably a little bit more graphic than this, not that this wasn't graphic at all. And I also love things that are history-based. I've also got a sequel to this in the works called Exodus, and it's a much different story. It's kind of like if you took Mission Impossible and combined it with Hellraiser, you'd get the sequel to this thing. And so I think horror is probably the easiest way to get into doing stuff like this, but from there I'd like to branch out to other things too, action, comedy, drama, stuff like that. Any other questions?
Were there ever times where you were so like taken aback or frustrated, and it was just like, was there ever a moment where you were about to put it on the shelf? Okay, so with that, yes, what was the driving force, and what made you continue and push through that dark hole that you just thought was not possible?
That's a very good question. when I first put together the raw cut of this about a year ago, I remember, I think the first person that really saw the raw cut was Sean. And we were sitting inside Roman's office, and the thing was an hour and 45 minutes long, and it was just these long, drawn out scenes, and they were good, but they just didn't cut very well. And I'm just looking at this thing going, holy shit, I've ruined my life. I'm like, I'm 40 years old, I don't have a job. What the hell am I doing? And there, I've got to admit, there was a lot of times I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? But the more the film came together, it's like the momentum in my mind built up, and it got better and better and better and better, and to the point where I was getting more and more and more excited about it. Plus, as I mentioned earlier, I got kind of sidetracked a little bit helping other people with their film and television projects, which sort of helped inspire me as well. In fact, I put them in the special thanks in the credits. And just seeing the thing really come together and just kind of reminding myself every single day that, this is going to do something, this is going to lead to something, it's going to lead to another job, a whole another career. That kept me going, and then finally seeing the final product, I was like, you know what? My heart, my gut feeling tells me I got something good. Any other questions? Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Scott.
Yeah, there must have been something that happened to you. Well, I'm asking you from you must have had an experience somewhere in your life that scared the bejesus out of you.
God.
That sponsored some of this or inspired some of this, right?
Oh my God.
I'm just asking.
I was okay. All right. I was a little kid. I lived in New Zealand. I was about 6 years old, and yeah, he was there. He remembers it. And I was a little kid. I was really little. We lived in this old house that was built in 1912, and I just remember getting up in the middle of the night. Something woke me up. I don't know what it was, and it was just something I saw outside. Really bizarre, and it just, to this day, is kind of just stuck in the back of my head. But something like that, and so I thought, you know what, finally when I'm old enough and I get the inspiration to do something, I'm going to put it on the screen. So I thought, why not do something like that, take it another step and see what I can do with it. So it was a little bit more inspiration than just paranormal activity, but it was just something, I have no clue. It's just something weird I saw when I was little. I can't explain it. Any other questions? None? Okay. Well, we have the theater until 6 o'clock. So it's 5 o'clock right now. So we can all chill, hang out, take photographs, whatever you guys would like to do. But, yeah, definitely we'll take pictures, and anybody have any more questions, I'll jump back on stage and do stand-up comedy, whatever I need to do. Yes?
Are you working on another film right now?
Right now, I've done no. However, I've got that story that I wrote that took place in Newport Beach. I've got a few people interested in actually reading that. The woman at KGB Films that works with Paramount that I've done some work for, I did all of her marketing for her film. It just got a distribution deal just last week. So all of my stuff is on her DVD, and it's going to be on her film's website as well. But she's interested in not only looking at this film, but she wants to show it to some of her producers. And then they want to read the first script that I wrote called Colossal, and I wrote that before this. She wants to take a look at that. And then I've got another group, Trigold Entertainment, which is headed up by a woman named Judy Kim. I met her at a film festival about a month ago, and she's closely affiliated with Paramount and Warner Brothers, and she's very interested in seeing it. She wanted to come today, but she couldn't make it out. So I'm going to be shipping her a copy of this, and so we'll see where that road takes me. And then my other priority is to really, really find a job. I want to find a job where I can afford to do more stuff like this. Did that answer your question? Cool. Any other questions? Yes, Leah.
Did Cindy survive?
That's a very good question, actually. We were talking about that this morning. I can't discuss that. I can't discuss that. There was part of the film that I actually cut out. I liked, but I wanted the alien being to look a lot more aggressive. When Jared's character goes down for the first time, the camera's knocked out of his hands. He like sits up and he starts calling your name. In fact, he called it out twice. And I'm still debating about that, but I took it out because I wanted to show the creature as just being like this just aggressive kill, you know, kind of thing. I mean, you guys saw it had a device, a manipulation device in its nasal cavity as well, just like Tiffany's character did and Roman's character did. But I can't say anything. I can't say anything. That is a very good question. Roman.
Why did you choose Jesse to get abducted first?
Okay, this is another kind of inside joke. Since you're always joking around about wanting to be abducted and I don't want to discuss this guy's personal life, but yeah, I thought it'd be kind of funny, you know, because we've always joked around about that. You're always like, oh my God, if like alien beings came and got me, I'd be like going to a party, you know. And I've actually got behind the scenes and bloopers of him actually talking about that. So I'll make sure you all see that. So I thought, you know, I'm gonna make Roman get it on camera, and he did. He did a good job. He did a really good job. But also the other thing is too is because you're one of the funnier characters in the film. So when people like you in a horror movie, and we either kill you off or make you get mutilated, like in this thing, it kind of has more of an impact on the audience too. So, and you're kind of naturally a funny guy, and so I thought, you know, that would just really, really work well on screen. But any other questions? Okay. Well, like I said, if you guys think of anything, please let me know. But, glad you liked it. That's good. That's good. That's good. I think DVDs can be around for a while.
It is. It's still a huge cash.
It's not what it is, and not only that, but even like your Blu-rays. A lot of people don't realize that the resolution you get from a Blu-ray DVD is still higher than HD programming, which is only 720.
Right.
And they're coming out with 4K television sets around the corner, which are 120 inches big, and upconvert a Blu-ray DVD or a DVD to perfect 4K resolution.
Right. Yeah. It's still a cash cow for the industry. It's just like on my end when it comes to the specialty box sets that because it's declining, the studios are not putting a lot of budgets to DVD and home entertainment. They're putting it on digital or other channels or back in theatrical. So that means that they're laying people off in home entertainment, and less people are around to do it, so they're more stressed out, and then there's less budgets behind every release. So that means for me to do something special, there's no budgets there anymore. You know, a nice like wood box or metal box or all things. So I needed to try to diversify. I can use my same supply chain doing all that stuff, but hopefully it's going to be a growth.